Yo guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm about to hit up a training session on first touch. So improving your first touch, getting that first touch a bit better and a bit sharper. It's not really going to be that intense. It's going to be pretty light overall. So yeah, not much running, not much movement really, just really focusing on your first touch, the behavior of the football, your coordination, how smooth you are, just things like that. So pretty simple, fairly light. And yeah, key things to focus on. Mistakes, because we're not going to be training at match intensity, we kind of want to keep the mistakes very minimal or none really, if anything. Obviously if we're training at more intense levels, match intensity, then obviously mistakes can get bypassed. But for today's session, because it's fairly light, everything should go correctly, not much mistakes. As players, if you want to be good players, at least you shouldn't really be making mistakes, especially on things like your first touch. So that's a key thing. And another thing is just we want to work on just smoothness. Often players, me included, as we're about to receive the ball or even after we've taken our first touch, our steps can kind of get a bit jittery, not very coordinated. So in this session we want to really focus on making those steps smooth after we've taken the ball or just before we receive the ball. So yeah, just things like that. Again, very light, not much intensity, so it should be a good session. And I'll see you guys on the pitch. Okay guys, so I'm out here on the pitch and the weather's pretty good, pretty decent day to kick some ball. And like I said, the intensity is going to be fairly low. This isn't a heavy conditioning day or anything like that, but we're really going to zone in on the technical side of things. Having a clean first touch can be the difference between keeping possession or losing the ball in a game. So it's important that we sharpen up these basics consistently. Of course, I'm training solo today, so in fact probably around 90% of the session will be based around me playing the ball off the wall. Of course, you can do this session with a partner, but if not and you're training by yourself, make sure you have something to play the ball off if you want to do this session. Okay, so starting off with a general warm-up, all I'm going to do is just some light jogging just to get the blood flowing around, and just do some leg swings and a bit of high knee sprints. Nothing too complicated, we just want to keep it nice and simple and pretty quick. Once you're nice and warm, we can then move on to warming up with the football, which is always the fun part. So here I'm just going to be doing lots of kick-ups, lots of different touches, controlling the ball from different heights, and just playing the ball off the wall, just doing short, crisp little passes against the wall, just to get my touches nice and crisp. Okay, so for the first drill, it's nice and simple. All we're doing is passing the ball against the wall and then focusing and controlling it with our first touch. and you want to make sure that you pass the ball pretty hard against the wall so it comes back with a lot of pace. This is because it will simulate like a real match situation. If you think about it, if someone's punching the ball into you, you kind of want to recreate that when you're passing the ball off the wall. So make sure you fire that ball pretty hard against the wall, and yeah, just focus on controlling the ball, keeping that ball fairly close to your feet. For this drill, you can use one foot at a time, so you can use your strong foot first, passing and receiving the ball off the wall, and then you want to switch over to your weaker foot. Okay, so for the next drill, it's going to be a bit similar. It's just going to be a bit more dynamic. We're going to pass the ball off the wall and then follow our pass. And as the ball comes back to us, we're going to turn out with our first touch, just like we're escaping pressure basically. You want to make sure your first touch is tight and under control as you turn. And this is great for building muscle memory when it comes to turning under pressure. You can start off with a stronger foot, then switch and do the same with a weaker foot. And again, you want to pass firmly off the wall so the ball can return with good speed. Okay, so for the third drill, it's going to be pretty similar to the last one, but instead of turning out, we're going to be taking our first touch into space, almost as if there's a defender right behind our back. For this drill, you can kind of experiment with different touches. You can use the outside or the inside of your foot, so long as you're taking the ball into space with your first touch. Okay, and to end the session, I'm just going to be doing a bit of free dribbling and finishing, a chance to just get creative and play with the football really. Nothing too complicated here, just a bit of footwork with both feet and just taking a shot and hitting the target. So that's it for the session today. Like I said, fairly quick, fairly light, nothing too complicated, just emphasize on technical quality and just keeping things simple with this first touch session. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.